I am about ready to read out of Frindle. We are ready for chapter 4, and we have learned about the character Nick, and he is a bit mischievous. We've also learned about his English teacher, Mrs. Granger, and she is awfully strict. He thought on the first day of school that he would be able to get Mrs. Granger to, he thought he could stall her and not be able to have to, he thought that he would not have to be able to do homework. And instead, he got double the homework. He had homework that was assigned for the class and a report about how the words are put into the dictionary. So we'll see what happens next. So we're on chapter 4, and this title of this is called Word Detective. It was a beautiful September afternoon. Remember, this is the beginning of the school year. Bright sun, cool breeze, blue sky, but not for Nick. Nick had to do a little report for the next day, plus copy out of the definitions for the 35 words. For Mrs. Granger, this was not the way school was, for Mrs. Granger. This was not the way school was supposed to work. Not for Nick. There was a rule at Nick's house, homework first. And that meant right after school. Nick had heard his older brother James groan and grumble about this rule for years, right up until he graduated from high school 2 years ago. And then James wrote home from college after his first semester and said, "My grades are looking great because when I came here, I already knew how to put first things first." That letter was proof Nick's mom and dad had been looking for. Homework first was the law from September to June. This had never bothered Nick before because he hardly ever had homework. Oh, sure, he'd looked over his spelling words on Thursday nights, and there had been a few short book reports in 4th grade, but other than that, nothing up now. Schoolwork. I'm sorry, I lost my place. Up to now, schoolwork never spilled over into his free time. Thanks to Mrs. Granger, those days were gone. First, he looked up the definitions in the brand new red dictionary that his mom had bought because Mrs. Granger told her to. It took almost an hour. He could hear a baseball game in John's yard down the street yelling and shouting, and every few minutes the sharp crack of a bat connecting with a pitch. But he had a report to do. For Mrs. Granger, Nick looked at the very front of the dictionary. There was an introduction to the book called Words of Their Origins. Perfect, Nick thought. It was just what he needed to do his report. It would all be over in a few minutes. Nick could already feel the sun and the breeze on his face as he ran outside to play. Homework all done. Okay, so here's a picture, and here's Nick. And the picture says homework first. The caption says homework first. Oh man. Does he look very excited? I want to show you the cover also now. So who is Nick in this on the picture on the cover? He's right here. Then he read the first sentence from the introduction. Without questions, this modern American dictionary is one of the most surprisingly complex and profound documents ever to be created, for it embodies unparalleled etymological detail, reflecting not only superb lexicographical scholarship, but also the dreams and speech and imaginative talents in millions of people over thousands of years. For every person who has ever spoken or written in the English has had a hand in its making. What? Nick scratched his head and read it again, and then again. Not much better. It was sort of like trying to read the ingredients of a shampoo bottle. Have you ever tried that? I have. It's not very good. He slammed the dictionary shut and walked downstairs. Nick's family did a lot of reading, so bookshelves covered 3 or 4 of the walls in the family room. There were 2 sets of encyclopedias. The black set was for grown-ups and the red set were for kids. Nick pulled out the D volume, the red set, and looked up dictionary. There were 3 fold pages with headings like early dictionaries, word detectives, and dictionaries today. Not very exciting, but he had to do it, so Nick just plopped down on the couch and read all of it. And when he was finished with the kids' book, he opened up the black encyclopedia and read most of what it said about the dictionaries too. He understood only about half of what he read. He leaned back on the couch and covered his eyes with his arms, trying to imagine himself giving a report on this boring stuff. He'd been lucky to have 3 minutes worth. But because Nick was Nick, he suddenly had an idea, and it brought a grin to his face. Nick decided that giving this report could actually be fun. He could make it into something special. After all, Mrs. Granger had asked for it. Oh no. What do you think Nick has up his sleeve? You know, Nick, he has been known for his mischievous acting. What do you think he's going to do? So he's done all of this book report. He's really done a lot of research. Do you know what an encyclopedia is? Ooh, I have an encyclopedia. Just a second. I'll be right with you, okay? Don't you go anywhere. Don't move a muscle. Hi, I'm back. Okay, so this is a children's encyclopedia. It is a lot like, oh, I wish I would have got a dictionary over there too, but it's okay. I'm not going to. So it is, I'm going to tilt it down just a second. So it's a lot like a dictionary, but what you'll notice, this is an illustrated, encyclopedias have pictures as well. This encyclopedia has a QR code that you can then go to like internet links and check out more things. So not just a book version, you can also go to the internet. So you can look up volcanoes and read all about volcanoes. Now, he said that his family had a red copy, which was the kids version, and they had a black copy, which was a adult version. So he read both of those. Now he read all about it in the I was gonna look and see if there was anything in here about a dictionary. He read there's not. That's okay. He read the kids version and he was able to understand that one okay. But when he got to the version of the adult, he didn't really fully understand that. But I am really impressed in Nick's study skills. He was able to research and he did a nice job of that. Now, I wonder though what he has up his sleeve. If he went to all of that work, why would you go to all of that work if you're going to like play a joke or something? What do you think he might do? I want you to leave me a comment below. What do you think he's got up his sleeve? Do you think he's going to give the report like Mrs. Granger told him he needed to do the next class period? Is he going to write it up? Now that he's read all of his encyclopedias, like obviously the other encyclopedias, it looks different than this. Like I wish I had a set. I don't have a set anymore, but there would be like one whole book might be all the A's and B's and so on. So this is just a quick children's one. But so why would he go to all that work? Is he going to write all of his report down? Is he not going to? Is he going to then give his report orally? And lastly, I want you to tell me, what do you think he's got up his sleeve? What is he going to do? I want you to make that prediction. He doesn't necessarily do things naughty, but he does do some things that, like, you think, wow, I would have never thought about that. And it kind of is like mischievous, but not super naughty. Not like he didn't go up and punch someone. Like, he's not super mean, but just kind of like ornery. Maybe another way to say that is ornery. So I want you to give me a prediction. What do you think you're going to do? What is he going to do? Okay, until next time, you will have to wait about chapter 5. I can't wait to see what you guys say.